All right, welcome back. The news today in the markets, it's not Bitcoin, it's actually oil. Now currently down negative 13. How is this possible? I don't even know. Is it going to affect the stock markets, which also affects Bitcoin price? Very possibly. So we'll have to take a look at our indicators. We have seen a bit of a sell off, but we are maintaining this rising wedge. If it breaks down, we could see 6K. This is Crypto Rolly, the crypto watch that never stops. Live technical analysis, price predictions, and trading. Remember, these are my own ideas and opinions on the market, so please do your own research. Trade at your own risk. I am not your financial advisor. Please hit that like, comment, subscribe, tick the bell for notifications. Looking at the market, we can see Bitcoin down about 4% in the last 24 hours. The volume finally picking back above a billion. It was very slow over the weekend. Even last night, we're still under a billion. So good to see the volume stepping in. Maybe we can get some larger moves. We did see, a nice 5% drop already today. So we'll see if there's continuation. It has been very choppy sideways. There'll be a pump and then 4 days of sideways and then maybe a dump. It's just back and forth. We're really trying to see a major break of this range. Until then, it's anybody's guess. We do see Ethereum down 6%. Tether up slightly, means everyone has moved out of their altcoins and Bitcoin into Tether. That's usually what you will see. Chainlink down 5%. Okay, so everything's pretty much down. Crypto Fear and Greed Index, was at a 15 last night. We have been hovering in this region for a long time. We've been going over this, and we were hoping that, since we were so low, this could give us actually, some juice to climb higher possibly. But, today this oil crash is, it's definitely a concern, because if that can happen to the oil prices, what else can it happen to? I feel like it might trigger some more things to come. And we have been looking for a catalyst for a potential pullback. We had a major sell-off, and since then, the markets have just been climbing up, despite everyone has basically been looking to short, expecting lower lows, considering we're thinking about a recession, this is a pandemic, the usual stories every day. And but the prices just kept going up. So at some point though, we do think we'll see a retracement. So we could be on the precipice. All right. 21 days away from the block halving. So we're 3 weeks away from the big event. What will happen? Nobody knows. All right, let's go to the charts real quick, guys. Still the link down below in the info if you want to join the free Discord for the month of April. I'm giving that opportunity. We have charts, trade setups, community chat, private videos, all that good stuff. So check that out. All right, and we'll take a look. So using the daily chart, you can draw another rising wedge. I mean, we've been drawing this so many different ways. I think before, we were looking at something more like that, and we did break out of it, but we didn't really get that big sell-off that I think a lot of people were anticipating. But, just on screen right now, drawing this, wasn't even prepared for this, but you can see how you broke down and then came up and retested it and rejected. So that is interesting to see that we were holding this support line previously here. We lost it. We did find a bounce and then getting rejected by it. So it was support, flipped resistance. Now, we do have a touch here on the daily, a touch, and coming in and hitting it again. So this is acting as a support line. If you zoom in a little bit closer, you can see we actually hit it exactly. You can see where this wick touched exactly, and we bounced exactly off of that. So I believe, if you start closing some candles beneath here, and what is this? This is 67.57. We'll just say start closing, an hour or a 4 hour, even better, beneath 67.50. That could trigger more downside. Otherwise, we have just been chopping around. So this could be another, quick sell-off and then a bounce. It's been tough to get any type of real trending move in the past few weeks. It's been very choppy. Very good if you have been if you like scalping. This is your kind of game. But if you like to swing trade or trade on larger time frames, it hasn't been the best opportunity. Basically, you'll get like a big candle, and then that was your chance to sell. And same here. Dump. All right, that's it. Dump. Okay, that's it. And then rise. You see, there's hasn't been a lot of great opportunities. And here again, in the group, I did take some profits down at 6,800. And I left 50% of that position still open as we creep back up. So I'm glad I did take some profits. We'll see. It's just been that kind of game lately. All right, so let's just break down the charts real quick. Let me start with the 4-hour, because we are looking at the lower time frames real quick. What I wanted to see on the 4-hour. If we look at the moving averages here, we did close beneath, the green, this light green 200 EMA was coming in at 69.79. We did bounce from this region with the first drop, and I was looking for if we lost that region to go lower, and we have, but we are getting that bounce. So I would say that we have a resistance level here at 69.50. Basically where we bounced from here, and then you could retest it as resistance. Again, our stochastics are still coming down, so there's still room to go on the stochastics. Let me throw on my RSI real quick. Have that guy there. And there is a bit of room on the RSI as well. We are not oversold on the 4-hour. I wanted to make this white real quick, easier to see. Moving forward, so you can see, we have not hit the oversold territory on the 4-hour, and your Stokes are still coming down. You do have this pink 200 simple at 66.90 support level. All right. What else? Let's look at our Ichimoku cloud. The Ichimoku cloud, we did break into the cloud and hitting resistance right now. You see resistance at 68.90. So could this, hold up price? We did get a little bounce, but if you go down to the 15-minute, you can see that we were, playing around in the oversold RSI. We hit it here, got a bounce and came back down, getting a bounce. And then we could get another leg down, but each time it goes into the oversold on the RSI, there are likely bounces to be had. Okay, so this is typical. It doesn't just go straight down. There are bounces along the way. On the lower time frame, you can see the 21 EMA. This could act as resistance around 6,900. Okay, so we'll continue with our 4-hour though. Going over to the Bollinger Bands. On the Bollinger Bands, we closed this 4-hour candle beneath the lower band, which is bearish, and the lower band is now currently sitting at 68.65. Prices at 68.74. Still plenty of time on this 4-hour candle, so I want to see, do we close back into this Bollinger Band zone, or do we close another one outside of the lower band? Okay, so resistance 68.65 there, or it could be support, depending on where this candle closes. All right, moving on to the 12-hour. On the 12-hour, we are below the middle BB, which is at 69.54. So 69.50 feels like a critical level for me. It was a support. It could turn into resistance. We saw on the 4-hour where we bounced off 69.50, and you can also see on the 12-hour it's the middle BB. So 69.50 is a critical zone. So we are in the bearish zone as well. We will get this 12-hour candle close with the daily close and the next 4-hour close in less than 3 hours, actually. Okay, so moving on to the Ichimoku clouds. Ichimoku clouds, you had the support level at 68.90. We're just beneath it. So do we close below or above 68.90? Below it, you could go trigger all the way to the bottom side of this cloud. You have this yellow baseline at 65.77 would be maybe a target. I'm also looking at 6,600 as a possible target. That's with the fibs, so let me show that in just one moment. Our moving averages, your 50 EMA is at 69.26, looking to close beneath that. You do have support here, 68.30. This is the 50 simple moving average. But, back beneath the 12-hour yellow 21 EMA is, starting to build that bearish bias. And your 12-hour Stochastic is coming down as well. So you have a cross from the top with the 12-hour Stochastic. These can be indicative of, pullbacks or drops, and we are getting one. So we'll have to see. We had one back here and we got a nice drop, but then we went sideways. So we got another one. We're getting that drop. Will we actually get continuation, or, do we play out some more sideways action and this, already played out its move, because it is a bit of a lagging indicator. All right. Going over to the daily, I'll actually look at the fibs real quick for you before I look at those indicators. Let's see. We can get rid of this guy there, and we'll pull out the Fibonacci. We'll draw the fib from the bottom to the top, so swing low to swing high. And if we break down from this rising wedge, you have a level at 66.30. That's your 0.236. So if we're looking at a larger pullback scenario, 66.30 would be a target, and then 6100 is your 0.382. So, and I think these are fair targets, especially if we do break beneath this rising trend line. Your 0.618 is all the way down at 5300, 5250. But, when I show you the weekly moving averages, that would be quite a concern if we reach that point. I think 6100 is more of a fair target. While I'm looking at the daily like this as well, I wanted to already mention this, so I don't want to get too far in the video. We want to look at our S&P 500 real quick. So the S&P 500 did finish with a bearish candle, and this bearish candle probably has something to do with the oil futures in the negatives. So, the housing crisis was the beginning of the last recession. I'm not saying that oil is going to be, the housing crisis, but I'm just saying it can start with one large industry. And, America and some other rich countries, they do really well with oil. So this is going to hurt, the economy. Someone was mentioning Canadian oil fields shutting down. I'm not, an oil guru. I'm crypto Rolly. But there's no way that this is good, okay? Negative 13, what does that mean? What else could go negative? And no one's using oil because no one's driving. The planes aren't flying, and this isn't the only industry that has shut down. There's several other industries clearly on lockdown and shut down, and we don't know to the extent that they're going to be damaged by all of this. So this is, this could be the first step. And like I say, you did see a bearish daily close on the stock markets. It's nothing as heinous as that drop, but you can see, clear just downtrend. And I guess the question right here is, I have all these little trend lines. Does this rising trend break? You could say, like, we could draw this, potentially. So if it goes any farther down, this rising trend line is definitely, looking to break down. So could we get a bigger pullback? We don't have to test all the way back down to the lows, but, something even just back down to this level where we had resistance, could see it flip as support down at 2640. We're at 2820. That would be fair and nothing out of the ordinary, I don't think, looking at our daily. And so the point of all this is, if we do get that pullback in the stock market, it's likely that the Bitcoin also gets that pullback. So if Bitcoin, or if the stock market drops back down to this resistance flip support, that could look a lot like Bitcoin going to 6,100, right? So we can see that would look like us coming back down to 6,100 or maybe even 5,600, So this drop and rise is identical to the stock market. So if the stock market has a pullback down, Bitcoin might as well. All right. So we'll have to see how the markets react to all of this news. All right, so continuing with the daily, let's look at the moving averages. The moving averages, this is what we're looking for with our daily close. We are trading back beneath the yellow 21 EMAs at 69.28 and the blue simple on the dailies at 68.80. Prices at 68.80 right now. So do we close beneath all of these? That would be bearish. You can see how the 21 EMA held up price all the way along here, wick beneath it, but closed each time. This candle, we definitely got a solid close, got a little bit more of a dump, and then we bounced. So, it doesn't mean just because we closed beneath it, we're going to 6,100. But typically, on the daily, above 21 EMA is bullish, below is bearish, right? And then with your 50 simple, you can also see how it rejected price here, and we finally got above it. That was good, but to close back beneath it, looks like maybe just a bit of a fake out, okay? Going to the Bollinger Bands. On the Bollinger Bands, looking to close back beneath the middle BB, back into the bearish zone as well. All right, your stochastics on the daily also looking to cross back down. We were looking at a cross up, but now cross back down. That could add to the bearish scenario. Bearish zone, stoke down, beneath 21 EMA. These are starting to add up. What we wanted to see with the Ichimoku was finding support above 71.75. Now we're back down at the bottom of the cloud. The yellow baseline is going to be resistance at 69.38. Your blue conversion line support at 6,800. The bottom of the cloud, 68.50. Do we bounce around in the cloud some more, or do we break beneath it and then this becomes resistance? If you drop, you could get a bounce and then hit resistance again, or this daily cloud will just start coming back down this way, following down. We'll have to see. All right, so we did all of those. Going to the weekly. On the weekly, putting in, currently it's a red candle, but we've seen these bounce. But we did have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks in a row of green candles. So it wouldn't be out of the ordinary to get a bit of a pullback here. Looking at the moving averages, we did not close back above the red 100 EMAs around 62.80 or 72.80 right now. It was around 7,300 for a few weeks, and now it's declining. And then on top of that, that blue simple, this light blue 10 simple has crossed bearish, now adding extra pressure to the downside, and resistance is at 71.23. Okay, so this could push the price down. And then you have the 200 EMA support at 5,900 and the pink 200 simple support at 56.82. That's why I was saying that golden retrace was down more in this zone here. We can see the golden retrace is below the pink 200 simple. The 0.5 at 56.70 could line up with that region, but one step at a time. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, right? The weekly stochastics did cross to the upside, but being a lagging indicator, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. I mean, it's good to see, but I'm just trying to look back at previous crosses up. You had maybe a similar situation here. You had that cross up, and you had a rise in price, but then you just got rejected by the yellow 21 EMA right here. I'm trying to just look at comparatively. Basically you can see in a downtrend, you can get those crosses up, but then they can just get rejected anyways. What we were hoping for maybe is a cross up like this and then just continuation on and up. But, you had a cross here, crossed up, and by the time it crossed down, you had already dumped hard. So that's why I'm saying it's a lagging indicator. On the weekly, it might not be our best indicator, but we like to look at them because we like to look at the lower time frames as well. So you could play with that as well, compare the prices. Just wanted to check that out for a moment, but let's not hold up the video too much. Ichimoku Cloud, Also getting rejected by the 71.75 level. We've spoken about 71.75 for a while. We were never able to close a weekly candle above that. Getting rejected there. And your Bollinger Bands, we were talking about 7,800 as a potential target because your middle BB is at 77.75 now. It has been working its way down. But, all in all, we had a support level here that we were looking at, and it has flipped as resistance. This is pretty classic, support flipped resistance. And won't be surprised to get a pullback. Considering we've had 5 weeks of bullish candles after, pandemic black swan death drop. All right, we're going to get a little pullback. All right, so let me just go down to the lower time frame just before I leave you guys. It's been 20 minutes, perfect. 68.68. I think most importantly, to wrap it up, what I'm looking at is for the daily, because we do have the daily coming up in a couple hours, and that's going to be those moving averages. The blue 50 simple at 68.80 and the yellow 21 EMA at 69.27. So closing beneath that, we could get some continuation. We haven't had too many trending moves. Look how choppy it's been. So maybe we are due for a trending move. And on top of that, we're getting a little bit of a spike in volume here. On the 4 hour, you did see a large volume candle come in. It's kind of trailing off. There's plenty of time left in this candle, but you can see that this 4 hour candle here was actually larger than any of the volume here. This pump right here, we did have larger volume here than previously. So we were wondering, hey, we had larger volume. Are we going to get continuation? And then it died off. Nice large candle, but we need more candles like this to continue that sell-off. On the 1 hour, let's see if how the 1 hour follow-up is. So yeah, this candle a lot lower in volume. Maybe we do some sideways chopping, let the RSI cool off, and then we have some more candles come in. But without the volume, you can't get a breakout, okay? So that's what we're looking at. But also, like I said, 67.50 from the top of the video is where you have this new trend line if you're watching for that rising wedge, okay? So you can see pretty clear there. So a daily close beneath 67.50 would be even more bearish. All right, guys, it's been Crypto Rolly Roll. Thanks for watching. Hit that like if you haven't, and I'll see you next time.